ever wondered why you reject money? If so, stick around. Welcome to Tools to Create a Better Life. My name is Glenyce Hughes, and I am so incredibly grateful that you are here. Yeah, why you reject money and how to stop. I know this is something that a lot of times we're not even aware that we're doing it because it can show up in so many different ways. We could be not receiving compliments. That's a way of rejecting money. We could not be allowing people to gift us. Maybe they would like to take us out for dinner. Maybe we go, but in our mind, we're going, okay, I'll take them out for dinner next week. So we find that way to not receive it, basically. We're figuring out how to give it back, how to boomerang it, so to speak. And there's so many different ways that we can reject money. What you want to start paying attention to is if that's what you're doing. So maybe you recognize that every time, if you have a business, let's say, and you have a new client phone you, and they're asking if what you do could help them with something that they've got going on, and you automatically refer them on. That might be a way of rejecting money. Now, let me tell you how that showed up for me. When I first started my business over 20 years ago, I would have people phone me just like that. They'd phone and at the time I was doing Reiki sessions and clinical hypnotherapy sessions. So they would phone and they'd say, hey, I've got sciatica. Have you ever had success with Reiki with sciatica? And I would say, no, but do you know what? I know somebody who could help you. And I would refer them on. Now, that's great if that's actually true in the moment, but referring everyone on does not make a good business, my sweet friends. And that was one of the ways that I was rejecting money. I wasn't willing to receive it. I wasn't willing to receive them coming in. I wasn't willing to receive maybe me not being able to assist them with Reiki or whatever they were asking about. So we just want to start paying attention to that. Now, the title of the show, why you reject money. Now, that's a pretty blanket statement. Every one of us is going to be a little bit different. But ultimately, receiving money is about receiving. So to receive money, we have to have a level of receiving that possibly is more than we've been willing, or maybe more than what people around us have been willing. So we reject it right away as a way to ensure that the people around us are comfortable with how much money we're receiving, to ensure that we don't receive more than we're supposed to, whatever the heck that means. There's so many different energies, but one of the ones in all of the thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that I have worked with over the years, I would say the most common is they reject money because the value is in the story as to why they don't have it, then the value being in to actually choosing it. So what does that mean? Well, if we have a story that we don't have money because of a recession or a potential recession that's going on, it's one that we're hearing quite often now at the time of recording. And so if we're telling that story, if we're saying, well, my business is not bringing in the money, or my employer can't pay me more because, that's a pretty quick notice, guys, that there's a story going on. When you go to because, stop. That's a story. And if you really want to change it, truly change it, most people don't. Maybe you're different. Just for you, you don't need to be saying this out loud to other people because it's going to sound weird, but what I'd like you to start doing is actually acknowledging what is true. So let's say you are employed and you've asked your employer for money and they say we don't have the money for it because of the recession, whatever story they want to give you. You want to say to you, I don't have more money because I'm not choosing more money. Instead of, I don't have more money because my employer isn't paying me more because of a recession. Can you get the difference between the two? The latter one, it makes you a victim. You can't change that. What you can change is your choice. Now, does that mean that you're going to say, okay, well, I don't have money because I'm choosing not to have more money, and then suddenly it changes? I mean, it could, but chances are when you acknowledge what is, you acknowledge you are the creator of your money, then you might go, okay, well, since that employer has said no to any more, then what else? What else is possible? You start actually going into question. Now, maybe you go find a totally different employment. Maybe you add on, maybe there's something that you love doing that you would add on to the side that would really contribute. There's a bazillion ways to receive more money if you're not in the story of whatever the because is. So this is something you really want to look at if you're willing to change it. And so remember, this is, why you're rejecting money and how to stop it. That's number one. Start calling it like it is. I don't have more money because I'm not choosing more money. That's the only thing that you know to be true. You can't say it's because of the economy, because of your employer, because of business. No, stop. All of that is giving up your power and you end up being a victim. And so it is. That's the way it is for you. So this is where, and this is something that, I keep saying you, but please know this is something that I have really shifted and changed with myself over the years, is to acknowledge what I am choosing and to acknowledge what I'm not choosing. So when I'm not choosing it, I just acknowledge it. It's not right. It's not wrong. You're not supposed to be doing something. You get to choose. Every 10 seconds, you get to choose. Well, every second you get to choose. So you want to look at that and really be present with that and call it like it is, again, just for you. So announcing that to your friends and family might sound really weird, but you get to choose it for you. You get to acknowledge for you, okay, I'm not choosing that right now. Now what else is possible? Now you can ask more questions. And I would love to invite you to an upcoming class that I've got called Money Doesn't Give a Fuck. It is all about this. It is all about getting out of our pathetic, out of the lack, out of the scarcity, and into the potent creator of magnitude that you truly be. It is on April 1st. And so if you're listening to this or watching this later, the replay will be available. It's $50 US for the call, my sweet friends. And we're going to be using a lot of the new stuff that came out in the recent Global Foundation at Access Consciousness. Oh my goodness. Presumptive realities and needs of reactive reality. All the stuff. So come and join us. You'll find the link above or below. If you don't see a link, reach out and I will get it for you. So with the changing of it, the stopping of rejecting money, again, that really acknowledging what is true in that moment. The other thing that you want to do with that is just be really present with when you are rejecting money. And it doesn't mean you have to not reject it. You don't have to force yourself. But if you could start acknowledging, let's say a friend comes up to you and they just say, wow, I just love your outfit. That is amazing. If you aren't able to receive that, if it's a really difficult, compliments are a tough thing for a lot of people to receive. So if you know that, you just want to acknowledge for you that you're rejecting it, and that's okay. Just acknowledge it. That's the first step. And then maybe when you're on your own, you could really look at that and really look at what you could actually create if you received it. If you did drop those walls and barriers, that separation, and just really receive their compliment. Now, compliments can sometimes be a bit tricky. Sometimes when people are giving us a compliment, there isn't a compliment there. Sometimes there's secret agendas attached, there's lies attached, there's some unkindness, attached. So you just want to be present and really aware of what you're choosing in that moment. And so if it is a rejection, if it is where it's so difficult to receive it, just smile and nod or say thank you or do whatever and get present with it. I get a lot of compliments out in the world. It's really interesting if I go out shopping, and they can be about my glasses, because as many of you know, I have lots of different pairs of glasses. It can be about the clothes I'm wearing. It can be about my hair. It is the most random stuff that people will come up to me and just tell me how great whatever it is looks, or how much they love it, or whatever it is. And I used to really struggle with that because, well, I did. I just really wasn't willing to receive it. I was rejecting it. And it was really about being an allowance of it. The other thing that I had to do is acknowledge what was really going on. So they say they like whatever, my glasses, my hair, whatever. What they're aware of with me, most people, not everybody, but most people, is the difference of me, the energy that I be, the contribution that I be in those places and spaces. And that's the way that they acknowledge. It's the only way we know in this reality. And it's such a really cool energy, because that's what I realized a lot of that kind of rejection was from, is that it felt funky. It was like what they were saying didn't really match the energy. So once I acknowledged what was really going on, then it's like there's a total match of the energy. So might be something like that for you also. There might be something that you're actually getting complimented on that isn't maybe given words to. So something to keep in mind with that. So some home play for you. Start paying attention to when you're rejecting money. And you could even see it even more openly, rejecting energy, like the compliments, the dinner, the hug, whatever. Start paying attention, start calling it like it is, stop telling the stories, and then start being in allowance, start being present, start being open to receiving even more, and come and join us for Money Doesn't Give a Fuck. I would love to see you there. Have a wonderful week, sweet friends. I look forward to chatting again next week.